So on the left I have two applications, one is React and the other is Svelte. It's alright if you don't know any of these frameworks because I just want to show you the general idea behind Svelte. In app.jsx, this is just a regular React app that just shows React on the screen. We're going to run a build command and then open the page so I can show you what's going on. So you can run this command. And it's super fast, so we can go to localhost 500. And we can open the developer tools in the network tab. And I disabled the cache, so we can just refresh to see what's going on. So you can see at the bottom it says 600 kilobytes downloaded, but you can ignore the majority of it because most of it is React developer tools that doesn't get shipped to production. The files we're concerned about are index and vendor. If we go to index, this is our application, so we can search for React and we can see the string is here, and that's our application. But if you go to vendor, we can see this is the React runtime itself. So if you just scroll a little bit here, we can see here is where React starts. And you can scroll a lot. It's also not that black and white because we really use some huge libraries on the front end that the client also has to download. And images themselves are also much larger than frameworks, so it's not black and white as most people say. But let's just compare Svelte to this. I can just close this and let me just end this, and I'm going to show you how the Svelte alternative looks like, and it's not that different, and we're going to get into the syntax later. So let's open this and we're going to run the same command. And just to be safe, I'm going to open a new tab because React DevTools really wants to be your friend and follow you everywhere. So let us just do the same with Svelte. And you can see compared to React, the size of a Svelte application is tiny in comparison. We can see that the index is barely a kilobyte and the vendor code that gets shipped to the client is barely 2 kilobytes. So if you do the same thing, go to the index in preview, we can find Svelte here. And let's do the same for vendor. And if you scroll, which you don't have to do a lot, this is the entire Svelte runtime. Because of course it needs some runtime to create the elements and render it to the screen. And that's amazing, right? So we can go back to the post and then continue. That's a couple of kilobytes compared to something like React that has to ship the entire runtime or library to work. And I hope now that you understand what that means. So Svelte doesn't have to concern itself with the bundle size of the framework, so you can have features that are first class, like animations built in, because only what you use gets bundled. So Svelte is comparable to React and Vue for building single page applications, where your entire application lives inside one element. So what does that mean? Single page applications, if we expect, we can see it lives inside of a div that has an ID of app. Single page applications means that JavaScript takes control of the entire page, meaning routing, creating and deleting content, instead of using something traditional like server-side rendering. So if we view the source of this page, we can see there's really nothing here because everything is happening inside this div. And that's what it means to be a single page application. But if you want something comparable to Next.js or Nuxt, you can use SvelteKit. So if you open SvelteKit, and SvelteKit is a server-side rendered application like Next.js that has more opinions and lets you build cool and awesome applications if you're interested in that. But that's for another tutorial. I hope this made sense.